with Neptune Collonges on the outside.
Neptune, please go a little bit faster. Come on, Neptune.
Sunnyhillboy and Neptune Collonges.
So, it's Grand National Day. Are you thinking this fella could win this? Is that the sort of belief you've got as you head into the start?
Well, to be fair, the great John Hale said to me before he went out, he said, look, if he's not enjoying him, make sure you look after him, pull him up. So I kind of when an owner said that to you, you're kind of put at ease because, and to be fair, I loved that horse, and I always felt so sorry for Neptune when I was in there because it was the era of Kato Star and Denman. They always got they always got the publicity. The cameras are always down there for them too. And poor old Neptune was in the corner on his own, just kind of looking over his stable door and looking at everyone, hugging and kissing Kato and Denman. So I used to go over to him myself and I used to rub him and pat him. It's okay, Neptune. Someday, I said, you'll beat them. So I used to, me and Neptune used to have our own little conversations when everyone else was with Kato and Denman. I used to go over to Neptune and hug him and cuddle him and kiss him and said, don't worry about it, mate. You'll get your big day. Don't you worry about it. Obviously not thinking I was going to win a Grand National on him. But I just loved him. He's just such a lovely, honest horse he was, and real kind-natured horse, and I just fell in love with him from just patting him. So, but I never got to ride him out until literally the 3 days before the Grand National. That was the first time I rode him out.
At the Grand National Weights Lunch for the 2025 race, they played snippets of the race. And I hadn't realised, right at the start, you see them jump off, and towards the back and rowing along merrily is Daryl Jacob on Neptune Collonges. At what stage did you think he was warming to it where you thought, yeah, this is going to be all right?
God, I remember that. I was literally riding like a 5
furlong race. Were you? Yeah. It's like,
just to get, I was like, Neptune, please go a little bit faster. Come on, Neptune. We've got to go. We're in the race.
I've said to you, come on, this is the day.
And he was... Honestly, he just it took a bit of time to warm up. But he actually, when he went down to the fences, he was very clever, very neat. But they went so hard that day, even like it's mad. He was placed in the Gold Cup. He'd won Grade 1s. Look, he wasn't the fastest horse in the world, but I was just thinking, I was so, not out of my comfort zone, but I wasn't far off it for the first mile and a half of that race. And I only really started to come back into the bridle, really, when we come across the Melling Road, coming into the home straight before we kind of turned towards the chair, really. And then I kind of came onto it then, and then I could I always had a good rhythm because I kept him in the comfort where he was happy jumping from. But actually, when he started grabbing the bit then and really sort of taking me forward, like taking me, passing 1, passing 2, passing 3, was literally halfway down. Once I jumped the big open ditch, the third fence on the second circuit, that's when he actually started to take me a bit then.
And is that the point where you think we could be in business here?
No, I don't. I never thought that. I never actually think about winning the race until literally you come by the Canal Turn and you turn... turning for home, basically. That's when I've always had it to try, and that's when you start. If you're lucky enough to be in that position or near enough in the race, then you can maybe start trying to plan a race and who you're going to follow. You always follow different horses, or you try to follow different horses the whole way through the race, because obviously you don't want to be following a bad jump or a horse that's not taking you anywhere. So, there's an awful lot of prep goes into a national, riding in a national. And, so from there then, I was just trying to make a little pattern of who I wanted to follow, who I thought was going well. He looks like he's going well, so let's do that. Let's try and follow them. And so there was really.
And one thing that struck me watching the replay again, of all the strides you've ever seen on a horse at a fence, of all the moments you've gone for and they've come up for you, Neptune at the last in the national, when you jumped from 4th into 2nd. I mean, what a buzz that must have been to
go down to the last. And actually, I remember it. He actually seen the stride.
Did he?
Because I was rowing, and it's one of those things you just like, oh, please meet the last on a good stride. Yeah. But actually, he seen it, and he actually he accelerated himself into the fence, and he actually met it on a good stride. But that's how clever he was. He actually spotted the fence himself. I was rowing, hoping that I was going to meet it on a good stride. But actually, I felt him underneath me. I felt him lengthening. So I went, go, go, go. And then he just,
And then they've only got the small matter of cleared the last, you're in 2nd place. get past the one in front, and you did that in the very last stride.
Yeah, and then Seabass was going well, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Kate
he was.
Walsh.
Yeah.
Katie gave him a great ride. You know, watching back on it now, she was unbelievable on him. And Richie, but then I still had a bit of ground to make up mine on the front to it. But then I knew I had Katie beaten. Once I went by the elbow, I knew I had Katie beaten. So literally, you know, I asked Neptune for everything that he had basically, and you know, he duly gave me everything and more really, and to get I mean, I was always taking the piss out of people with big noses because I've got a big nose, but I'm glad that Neptune had a big nose as well, and he managed just to get that
nose.
Yours
out in as well, just in case I can help.
He just got that nose down right at the right time, yeah.
Did you know you'd won?
No. Actually, Paul Nicholls said to me yesterday, he said, he knew he'd won that race, didn't he? And I was like, how do you know that? This was at the weights yesterday. I said, how do you work that? He says, watch his ears when he passed by the winning post. He said one of them flickers, and it does, you know.
Does it really?
Yeah, is one of his ears flicker, yeah.
Does it say I've got you?
He knew he won. I was like, yeah, all right, Paul, whatever. But, yeah, that was, I didn't have a clue. I literally, I promise you, I only stopped pushing whenever I seen Richie McLernon stop pushing in the corner of me.
You had him there, did you?
Yeah, because it was just too close, man. It was just too close.
And how long did that wait seem between crossing the line and the verdict?
Forever.
Did you know what your number was? Were you ready to be?
I looked down to see what my number was, and I was just praying and hoping that they were, because that's what they do, and the winner of whatever his number. And it felt like a lifetime, I promise you. I mean, it could have been only 30 seconds, I've no idea, but it felt like a lifetime. And then the more it was going on, I was just like praying, I was looking up to Kieran, and I was praying, I was thinking, well, like, if it's going on this long, like, I mean, look, we'll take a dead heat.
Yeah.
I just don't want to be on the losing side of it. I'll take a dead heat.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I mean, yeah, when it just seemed to take forever, but whenever he called out Neptune, it was unbelievable.
That's a career-defining moment. That's a life-defining moment. There's a very small select band who've ridden Grand National winners. Right there, right at that moment, did it feel it? Did it sink in?
Yeah, it did, because it's the race, like, since I went to Desi Hughes's, the first Grand National I watched when I was 15, or I think it was 15, was Papillon, when he won the Grand National, when Desi Hughes and Ted Walsh were very good friends. Ruby used to bring Papillon over to the Curragh to go around the mile stand, you know, to train them for the Grand National. And whenever he won, we all backed it, like, whenever in the yard and stuff like that. And there was huge, I just remember, there was huge celebrations, huge buzz the whole way around Kildare at the time. Yeah. Big celebrations. And I thought that's one race I'd love to be involved in. Never mind win it, but just love to be involved in. It just, for me, being over there, it just, everyone, you know, just the world watches it. And I didn't realise, because I'd never really followed racing, I'd never watched it before, really. So that was my first memories of a Grand National, really, is Papillon winning the Grand National.
Did Neptune Collonges, did that live up to that billing?
I mean, it was unbelievable. But even when I got some buzz out, like the first time I rode I finished fourth in Filson Run 100 to 1, I thought, I've really got to try come back here every year. I've really got to try and conquer this race. It was the one race in my head.
Really, is it?
I'm gonna conquer. That really wanted to conquer. And yeah, like you say, it was, to win it was unbelievable. But then again, the next day, I didn't get home till 10:30, because after the race, a really good friend of mine, Noel Fehily, he got a fall and he actually broke his leg. So he was in hospital. So after done all the media and all that sort of stuff, I went back to see Kieran. He was in hospital, so I went to see Kieran. Noel Fehily. I went to see him in hospital. So I was with him for an hour and a half, and then by the time I got home, then it was 11:30, 12 o'clock. So
bedtime and back to work the next morning.
Yeah, basically.
Did you say anything to Richie McLernon? You two were in that moment. You said you would have hated to come out the other side. He's in a corner of a waiting room, I'd imagine. He has come out.
Yeah, no, we had some words, but obviously, and I just remember looking, me and Richie McLernon were great friends. Really good friends, and I looked across at him whenever they announced it. I mean, obviously I was, you know, unbelievable for me, ecstatic for me to win the race, and then I looked across at him, and I generally, my heart did sink a little bit for him, because, you know, that was just so close, and I don't know what I would have been like if I had been called a second, and you know, I went and when I went back in, I gave him a hug and we had a quick chat, and then I had to do my sort of stings. But I mean, what can you say to someone like that? You can't, you know what I mean? You can't really say. I gave him a hug and we said a couple of things. And
was there a few jockeys you wouldn't have minded beating a short head in a?
But there is a few.
A list,
there is a few actually. I'd say I take quite pride in that. But,
but Richie wasn't one of those.
Richie he's a fantastic jockey, mind, and an even better guy. So it was a tough nut for him to swallow, mind.
Neptune Collonges and Daryl Jacob. They've got another 150 yards to go. Sunnyhillboy with Neptune Collonges on the outside, bearing down, racing towards the line. Sunnyhillboy and Neptune Collonges in a head-bobbing, pulsating finish.
Free, unmissable content released daily. Sporting Life Plus. Join for free at sportinglife.com. Includes Willie Mullins exclusives, race replays, My Stable Tracker, Race Cards Plus, premium articles, expert tips. Sporting Life Plus.